Hey everybody, welcome back to HoloNet Marauders. I'm AJ and I'm going to be talking about the marketing around Attack of the Clones. We covered the legendary marketing for the Phantom Menace in a previous video, so I figured it was time to move on to episode 2 in that wild time. First things first, be sure to like and subscribe, guys. It means a lot. Now let's hop in our time machines and head back to the year 2002. So we know that the Phantom Menace in 1999 can't be beat for its marketing campaign, but Attack of the Clones definitely had some memorable moments surrounding it. The first that comes to mind is the Frito-Lay Find the Hero Inside puzzle piece campaign. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Inside certain Star Wars labeled bags of chips, you would find a puzzle piece showing a character from the upcoming film. There was 9 different common characters to find, ranging in 4 different colors, and the rare 10th puzzle piece was a clone trooper. These pieces could also be put together, like a puzzle, and hidden characters would be revealed. Spoiler alert, it's Vader, Luke, Leia, and little Anakin. This campaign is pretty similar to the 1999 Pepsi can sweepstakes involving different characters on cans, and there being a limited amount of gold cans with Yoda on them. Remember when they used to put prizes inside things, like cereal boxes and whatnot? Do they even do that still? Anyways, moving on. Speaking of cereal, next up on my list is the Attack of the Clones cereal. I vividly remember my 8-year-old self having this, and one of my good friends at the time was very jealous I had this in my house. I believe his parents are some of those overly health conscious parents who wouldn't allow sugary cereal. Probably for the best, but hey, oh well. This cereal was amazing. It was sort of like a Kix-esque cereal with Star Wars marshmallows in the shape of clone troopers, Obi-Wan Starfighter, the Slave One, and other things. What was even cooler was the shiny box it came in. There was a couple different designs, but the adult collector in me now is upset that I just threw these boxes out. Sure, there were Star Wars cereals before and after this, but in my opinion, nothing tops this one. I can picture a Saturday morning back in 2002 having a bowl of this and playing some Bounty Hunter. Classic. Let's stick to the trend of food here and let's talk about lightsaber Go-Gurts. If you follow our podcast or live streams, you've probably heard me and Matt bring up these Go-Gurts, and this is another dumb but awesome memory of mine. In the commercials, it showed kids dueling with these Go-Gurts, and that was probably not a great idea. My friends and I would do just that, and there was probably multiple times one of the Go-Gurts exploded all over the place during one of these duels. The packages featured different Jedi on them, and above that was what looked like a lightsaber blade. This section would actually glow in the dark, which was mind-blowing at the time. It's really the small things that entertain kids. Add one of these to that Saturday morning breakfast alongside Bounty Hunter. I want to briefly mention the video games that surrounded Attack of the Clones, and I'll probably make a whole separate video on this, but the games that came out leading up to Episode 2 were mostly side stories and background lore that ran parallel to the story of Attack of the Clones. For example, you have the before mentioned Bounty Hunter, which gave backstory to Jango Fett. You also had Jedi Starfighter, which follows Jedi Adigalia and leads into the Battle of Geonosis at the end of the film. This was a much different approach compared to having several games for the Phantom Menace that were just following the main story of the actual film. Again, I'll dive more into that in another video.
Looks like you're in the right place.
Do you guys know about the HoloNet news network? Well, of course, the HoloNet is essentially the internet in Star Wars lore, but in the lead up to Attack of the Clones, there was an actual website loaded with Star Wars lore and background info for people who wanted to know more about the state of the galaxy at the time. It was set up just like an actual real life news page, too, with different articles talking about politics and the ongoings of events in Star Wars. The site was mostly authored by Pablo Hidalgo and Paul Enns, with illustrations done by Joe Caroni. In my opinion, this is by far the coolest part of the marketing leading up to the film. To have a site that worked as an in-galaxy news source is just a brilliant idea. And even though it's a very dated and early 2000s thing, I would love to have something like this today for Star Wars. The more immersion, the better. The lead up to Attack of the Clones understandably wasn't what the Phantom Menace was, but there was certainly some memorable things and some different approaches you could see happening. Now, of course, there was waves and waves of toys and merchandise I'm not mentioning, including this awesome card game, but I'm covering more of the unique things that were brought to the table. If there's anything I missed or anything you'd like to mention, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the HoloNet.